What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. Before this video gets started, I just want to say thank you guys so much for clicking on the video. It does mean a lot to us. And always, this podcast is sponsored by W Energy. There is a link down in the description to get 10% off of anything on the website, or you can use point C10 for 10% off, just to let you guys know. And we're going to get hopping right into things. And I just want to point out that this suggestion does come from the anonymous Google form. If you'd like your question in a video, just go down there, submit something, and I will read it in the next video. So anyways, we're gonna get right into this. Hi, Point C. Okay, I just want to point this out. I find this really funny whenever you guys call me Point C. My name is Hunter. Point C is just the name of the channel. This is a group channel. But anyways, let's get into things. Hi, Point C. Here's just a gist of my situation. I go to a pretty big school in the United Kingdom, which is notoriously countrywide for having a consistently excellent rugby team. The team is made up of 3 elite year groups, with my year being the middle year. A great majority of the players on the team, around 20 of the 23 on the team total, are in the year above, and therefore leaving the school soon. My coach has obviously recognized this and has met me about becoming the team captain for next year. Congratulations, my man. To which I am obviously very happy, but also puts a great weight on my shoulders. A lot of responsibility relating to the team and success I'll pretty much be accountable for. This sucks because my year and the year below me are pretty bad. There are maybe 5 people good enough to be standard to play for the school's first team, and the rest being nowhere near the standard. Think of a bunch of JV kids playing the top 20 teams every weekend. A lot has been going through my head, and I can't stop thinking about all that's going on wrong next year. My question is, how can I cope with the pressures and stresses that come along with me taking up the role? Because not even starting the role yet, and it's already very daunting. So good question. Good question. So I've never been in this situation, but I have been in situations where I needed to take responsibility. So I want to talk about that a little bit. And the first thing that I want to tell you about is embrace the challenge. There's a reason why you've been given this challenge. Your coach recognizes that you are somebody that is able to take on the challenge. Because the number one thing that you need to be able to do when you're taking on a role like this is to be able to do well under your pressure. Your coach has seen that you're able to do well under pressure. And to be fair, like you mentioned, you already are at one of the biggest schools for rugby, right? So basically, your coach already recognizes that you're good enough to take charge and to be the person in charge. So that's number one, is embrace it. I know it's new for you, and I know that it's a challenge, and it's driving your anxiety, but the thing is that there's a reason why you're being chosen. You're not just being chosen because you're some fucking loser that's puts in minimum effort. You clearly have put in the work to get on this level. And with that, I think that you really want to focus on what you can control. Obviously, you can't directly control the outcome of the matches, but what you are able to control is the fact that you are going to be one of the biggest driving factors to how the team succeeds. And this comes down to life in general, where your sort of attitude is going to be a driving factor for the team. And the reason why I say this is because as somebody that's been given roles where they are sort of in charge of people and things like that, the way how your attitude is perceived by the team is going to be how the team feels throughout the season. Here's an example. I was an orientation leader for 2 years. And basically part of my job was to make it to where, parents and the new incoming students felt that they belonged at the university. And if you go in there with a negative mindset, the whole group is going to feel negative. And if you go in with the attitude that we're going to lose every game, you're going to fucking lose every game. If you go in with the attitude that I'm going to lose every game, that we suck as a team, your team is going to feel that, because they could people sense attitudes really easily. And even if you don't realize that you're sensing an attitude, you are. If your boss is having a bad day, you can kind of all tell oh boy, it's going to be a tough day. And that still amplifies in sports. That still amplifies in any position of your life. There's been a couple times when we record the podcast where I can just tell that the attitude is off that day, and it's just not going to be a good podcast. You can just tell. If one party feels negative, it's probably going to be a negative day. And what's great is that you are in charge. So you get to dictate how that mood feels. You're the one that gets to set the tone. So set the tone correctly. Don't go in with a negative mindset that, oh, fucking Christ, I'm stuck with these kids that are not good enough to be on JV. But you can absolutely take charge and make everybody feel as if they need to put in their best effort because you're putting in your best effort. You gotta set by example. If you set by example, you are going to be able to basically tell the rest of the squad, look, this is how we should all be playing. This is how we should all be acting. But if you simply act oh, fuck you, I'm the best on the team and you all just suck. And like, you don't directly say that, but you kind of give off that vibe. Guess what? The team's going to suffer. And your coach chose you because he knows that you're not going to do that, or he hopes that you aren't going to do that. So I want you to not do that. So what I would suggest is just like, kind of like, really sit down and tell yourself, like, I can make a change on the team. Like I can. And you can. Like, I know that you can. That's why you were chosen. So, you know, you just got to kind of like just sit down and really kind of like focus on what you can control the attitude, focus on the attitude of the team. And I think that you also need to remember, in situations that are tough like this, you need to remember to celebrate small wins. The reason why is that you have pretty big expectations from the team, from, you know, your experience. Like, you know, you guys are like a good rugby team. So in general, you want to be the big rugby team, and that's fair, but you need to work towards that. And you need to celebrate small goals, whether if that's small improvement from certain players, you know, like if there was a small win from you guys in any way, you need to recognize that. Because if you only look at it from the perspective of, oh shit, I suck, right? Or our team sucks, then the whole team is going to feel that. And, you know, like I just mentioned, but like, you need to be able to have like this sort of realistic expectation. Like, if you feel like this year is going to be a tough year, look at it that way and celebrate the small wins. And like, that is something that is really important, is that if you are in a difficult situation, you can't just immediately be angry about it. And if you lose, be like, it's the fucking team. Celebrate a little bit. You know, did somebody that's less on the team make a really good goal? Did somebody on the team make a really good tackle? If they did, then celebrate that, man. Celebrate it. You got to give them that bit of encouragement. I don't know what UK sports culture is like, but, you know, I know that there's a lot of coaches that if their team doesn't just blow at the other team, then it's a negative day for everybody. I don't think that's a good way to look at anything, and I don't think that's how you should treat this. Like, that's kind of the message I really want to get across with this point, is like, you need to be able to create an environment that is welcoming to these players that are also learning. That's really what I want to suggest on that front. And like, it's really important to build team chemistry. You know, like, that's where a team really succeeds, is team chemistry. Is like, you know, are they able to get along? Are we, like, any team really gets along well and like succeeds if they are good workers and like they really get along together. And like, I can tell you that I've been in many group projects where, you know, I was always the nerd, but like, I was paired up with a sports guy or whatever. And it was like, well, we don't have anything to talk about. We don't have anything in common. And like, those projects sucked. You guys are all rugby players at a really good school, meaning that there is no reason that there's no connection between all of you. And that connection needs to be felt throughout the whole team. It needs to feel that everybody is included, that everybody knows that they have a spot on the team, and that they are there for a reason. And even if you feel that they are a weaker link on the team, you still need to make them feel welcome and give them a chance to shine. Let them know that this is the time for them to shine, time for them to show their skills, represent why they were given a spot on the team in the first place. I think that is a very important step into the learning process, is finding your place on the team. But you need to help in figuring out everybody's place in the team. You need to make sure that everybody's feeling welcome. And I guess like the really big last thing that I want to talk about here is like, you know, you need to make sure that you are setting by example. I already kind of mentioned that, but just because you feel like you have a bad team this year doesn't mean that you give up. Right? That doesn't mean that you just get to play like shit for the rest of the season, because I've seen that. And like, you can't just be shit. I'm going to use my brother as an example. I've talked about him a little bit on this channel. Well, you're from the UK, so you may, I don't know. Okay, so basically, well, most of my viewers are American, but I'm just going to explain it really quick. So basically, in America, we have states. What states is because we have 50 of them. There is sort of a state competition for every single state for the sport that they are participating in. It's not like nationals. Like, I know the UK is a bit different, like with your guys' like territories and shit. But anyway, so my brother just won states. And that was a big accomplishment for him. But his team itself didn't do great this year. Like, and my brother was a team captain. But like, for him, just because he had a bad team didn't mean that he gave up. He went undefeated. And the reason why he worked so hard was because he still wanted something. And you need to play that same way. Just because your team, or you feel like your team isn't doing the best this year, doesn't mean that you can sit back and just like not play your best. Like, you still need to play your best. Like, I've seen this, like, where people feel like, the team isn't putting in their best effort, so I'm going to give the fuck up. No. That should give you a reason to play harder more than anything, or try harder. It is like, you need to do your best. If you want the team to try their best, you need to try their best because they know that you're the best. That's why you're team captain. But if the team captain is losing morale, that team captain isn't putting in the effort that he should be, then the team falls apart. Then you guys will have a really bad season. But I know that you can put in a big season. But that's really what I want to suggest. Also, don't feel afraid to ask your coach too. Just ask him like, hey, am I doing things right? Am I really putting in the best effort that you want from this team? Like, am I doing my part? And then, you can figure out from there, like, hey, the team itself isn't doing great. And like, let's work on that. But, just make sure that you are putting in your best effort. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Set examples. Like, nobody likes group member that doesn't put in their weight. Like school or anything or like work, you have to be able to set that example as the lead. So, that's really what I wanted to tell you today, man. But anyways, you didn't leave your name or anything like that. But I do want to hear how the season goes for you. So good luck. I don't know too much about rugby. I'm an American. I'm a filthy American. But anyways, thank you so much for your question, man. And once again, if you do have any questions, feel free to drop them in the Google form down below. It's anonymous. It's, I'm not going to read your name out loud or anything like that. But yeah, so once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want, you can buy some Dummy Energy with the link found down in the description for 10% off, or you can use code POINTC10 for 10% off as well. And please don't forget to subscribe. It helps out a ton. And like, thank you guys for the support. It means a lot to us. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.
I was that kid that would get picked last. Never the one that would skip class. Never the puff when the piff passed. So me and a rap is a mismatch, right? Your stereotype got me feeling uptight. I've been wanting to fight. I've been up every night as I write and I write. I've been looking for light in the darkest of night. It's a bit of a pipe dream. That's what they told me. If I listened to your dumb ass, I'd